Due to certain events that have happened this year, I feel compelled to make a video about every failed assassination attempt against US presidents. President number 1, Andrew Jackson. First off, I'd like to say that this guy, Richard Lawrence, is an idiot because you probably heard of all the rumors about Andrew Jackson and that each time he walks it sounds like he has a pocket full of coins because of all the already existing bullets that were stuck inside of him. Anyway, Lawrence believed he was the rightful heir to the British throne and thought Jackson's policies were preventing him from receiving a large sum of money, so he attempted to shoot Jackson with 2 pistols on January 30th, 1835. Where both of his guns misfired, and Andrew Jackson proceeded to beat him with his walking cane. That must have been the most awkward and hilarious assassination attempt in history. President number 2, Abraham Lincoln. Most of you probably didn't know about this, but Abraham Lincoln actually had one assassination attempt on him before John Wilkes Booth in February 1861, during Lincoln's inauguration. This unknown conspirator planned to assassinate Lincoln while he was passing through Baltimore on his way to his inauguration, but the plot was foiled by security, mainly by Detective Allan Pinkerton, and the reason this guy wanted to take out Lincoln was like many during that time. It was because he opposed Lincoln's anti-slavery stance and feared his presidency would destroy the South's way of life. President number 3, William Howard Taft. Another unnamed assassin tried to assassinate Taft on October 16, 1909, because he believed that Taft was the sole reason for world hunger. I mean, because of political disagreements stemming from tensions during Taft's visit to Mexico, where he plotted to assassinate Taft while he was on his visit to Mexico, but he was caught before he could do anything. President number 4, Theodore Roosevelt. On October 14, 1912, John Schrank believed that no president should seek a third term and claimed that he was instructed by a vision of William McKinley to stop Roosevelt, so he went up to Roosevelt during a campaign speech and shot him, where the bullet was slowed down by a folded speech and glasses case in Roosevelt's pocket. But sadly for John Schrank, he didn't know that it takes more than that to kill a bull moose. And despite Roosevelt just being shot, he was still able to speak for 50 more minutes. And as for John Schrank, he was sent to a mental hospital until his death on September 15, 1943. President number 5, Franklin D. Roosevelt. A man by the name Giuseppe Zangara fired shots at Roosevelt during a speech in Miami, where he missed every single shot at Roosevelt but fatally wounded Chicago Mayor Anton Cermak on February 15, 1933. And the reason he did this was because of his hatred of the wealthy and politicians, whom he blamed for his poverty and stomach pain. Now, I don't know how the rich and politicians would affect your stomach pains, but I can tell you how they can affect your head pain, since he was executed by electric chair on March 20th, 1933. President number 6, Harry S. Truman. The assailants Oscar Collazo and Gracelio Torresola were Puerto Rican nationalists seeking to draw attention to Puerto Rico's independence. So on November 1st, 1950, they attempted to storm Blair House, where Truman was staying at the time, and assassinate him, but sadly for them, Torresola was killed during the attempt and Collazo was arrested, where Truman was able to leave the house unharmed. President number 7, Richard Nixon. During the Cold War, Samuel Bick was not happy with the government and blamed Nixon for the nation's economic struggles. And rightfully so, because Nixon was a douche. Anyway, he attempted to hijack a plane and crash it into the White House. But Bick was killed by police before takeoff on February 22, 1974. President number 8, Gerald Ford. Gerald Ford must have been really hated, especially by women, since there were 2 assassination attempts on his life by them. Attempt number 1. Lynette Squeaky Fromm was a follower of Charles Manson, and Fromm wanted to bring attention to environmental issues and Manson's ideology, so she pointed a gun at Ford, but it failed to fire on September 5th, 1975. Attempt number 2. Sarah Jane Moore was a radical leftist who sought to make a political statement against Ford's presidency, where on September 22, 1975, she fired a shot at Ford, but since she's a woman, she completely missed. President number 9, Jimmy Carter. Allegedly hired as part of a larger conspiracy to kill Carter, Raymond Lee Harvey, and an unnamed accomplice planned to shoot Carter at a rally in Los Angeles. But the plot was uncovered and the men were arrested on May 5th, 1979. President number 10, Ronald Reagan. On March 30th, 1981, Reagan was shot outside the Washington Hilton Hotel, where Reagan was severely injured but survived after surgery. The reason that this happened was because a man named Hinckley Okay. He was obsessed with actress Jodie Foster and believed that assassinating Reagan would impress her. And I have to say, that is the lamest reason for an assassination attempt in the history of mankind. I bet he would be the type to pay OnlyFans girls to talk to him about his day. President number 11, George H.W. Bush. Now, George H.W. Bush had a big bounty on his head since he was targeted by multiple Iraqi intelligence agents in retaliation for the Gulf War and Bush's opposition to Saddam Hussein. So, to get rid of Bush, they planned to detonate a car bomb during Bush's visit to Kuwait. But their plot was foiled in April 1993, probably due to the fact that, you know, they were Iraqi agents from a third world country. Like, how good could their training be? Oh no, it's those guys, watch out, they can use monkey bars. President number 12, Bill Clinton. Francisco Martin Duran, like many other people, believed the US government was evil and sought to eliminate Clinton. So he fired shots at the White House. Yes, not at Clinton, just the White House. So unsurprisingly, Clinton was inside minding his business and was left unharmed on October 29th, 1994. Maybe if he was a woman instead, then Clinton would probably invite her in himself, and then she could have a clean shot instead of just shooting at a wall. President number 13, George W. Bush. Other than looking almost exactly the same and being father and son, George W. Bush and George H.W. Bush both had attempts put on their lives. The criminal Vladimir Aratunian held very strong anti-American sentiments and threw a live grenade at Bush during a speech in Georgia. But somehow the grenade failed to explode on May 10th, 2005. I swear, some of these presidents just have real-life plot armor. President number 14, Barack Obama. This guy, Oscar Ramiro Ortega Hernandez, believed Obama was the Antichrist and that he posed a threat to the United States. And can you blame him? He has such an Antichrist face. So logically, on November 11th, 2011, he fired shots at the White House. Again, not at the person, but just at the building, where the funniest thing about this being that he wasn't even there at the time. But I have one question. If this guy thought that Obama was the Antichrist, why would he shoot at him? Wouldn't he want to throw like a holy water balloon at him instead? President number 15, Donald Trump. There were many attempts on Trump's life, so here are the 3 that we know about. Attempt number 1. Apparently an unnamed individual tried to give a rice and lace package to Trump because maybe they just didn't like him as a person, but it was intercepted in September 2020. Attempt number 2. Now most of you probably already know about this one, but one day while Trump was out golfing, Ryan Weasley Roth was spotted with a rifle near Trump International Golf Club in Florida, where Secret Service shot at Roth, who fled on September 15th, 2024, and was later arrested. Attempt number 3. The most famous assassination attempt on Trump's life happened on July 13th, 2024, during one of Trump's rallies in Butler, Pennsylvania. Trump was shot and wounded in his upper right ear by Thomas Matthew Crooks, where he fired 8 rounds from an AR-15 style rifle from the roof of the nearby building, where he luckily missed all of the shots against Trump, but sadly his stormtrooper aim resulted in one of the audience members dying and critically injuring 2 other people. Now I'm sure that I missed a few attempts simply due to the fact that they weren't documented or failed so badly that they weren't even reported. You better enjoy that drink, Mr. President, because it's the last one you'll ever have. Damn, wrong one. But I would like to thank you all for watching anyway. Please like and subscribe, Poppy, and I'll see you in another episode.